Oh, honey! Let's bring the mic over here. Hoo-hoo! Hoo-hoo ahoy! Thank you for the sub! 13 months, that's ridiculous. Yeah, I forgot to tweet, so y'all get to hang out with me while I do the posty. No posty. I started the stream, and then I went downstairs, and I made a cup of tea. Okay, and I'm gonna do the ping. Should have done these before I went downstairs, but that's how it goes. Okay, it's okay. We can jam out to this banger. Yeah, the Pecora style poem segment. I do love Pecora's stream poems. I had like a minor panic moment earlier, because Pecora's been on break for a while, right? And then I saw a tweet that with like a bunch of text that was like, Pecora is going to, and I was like, no, no, no. And it was like, be able to stream more of FGO, and I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Carry on. So. Yeah, I gotta take a sip of this. I made some honeydew tea to be thematically appropriate. And my friend made me some what they called honey melons. They like melted Malona bars into these little boba things. So I tried just popping it in the bottom. I'm gonna see if that worked. I kind of just unmelted them. Still yummy though. Okay, so. Somehow. Yeah, apparently they, gave her permission for, like, more of the chapters or something. So, big day for Hoo-Hoo. It's a very specific combination of things. Okay. So, we're playing Heart of the Woods. It's been 4 months somehow. We're on chapter 4. I believe there are 6 chapters. And... oh god, that's blinding. Okay. I need to get another light in here or something. Vaidore. Must be this one. As I recall, maybe there's an art gallery. Oh, perfect. Tara and Maddie, yeah. I know them. Tara and Addie were running a paranormal. Oh, the music is a little loud. Thank you. So it is. Paranormal vlog. And they're out here for one last job. In this weird, ambiguously European town. Oh, hey, Cole Baker. Thank you. Yeah, I've got some new ones recently-ish. And I also love them. So, they go to this weird little town and help this extremely normal, girl His name is escaping me now. Shit, it's been a while, and I'm bad with names. Yeah, Tara and Maddie. Kimi no na wa? That's Abigail. Should have looked before I Yes, Abigail. Okay, almost. Morgan. Okay. Maddie basically fucking died. In the woods because Morgan's mom is an evil eldritch being, right? But that means she gets to have a cute ghost girlfriend. And meanwhile, Tara, right, last chapter, on the one hand, everybody smooched and it was great. Smooching. And Tara and Morgan also kissed and have been, well, they've been kissing for a while, but they're kind of like becoming more of a couple. And also, Morgan's mom, like, made her burn down the super magical ancient mystic forest. They've been kissing for 4 months while we were gone. Everybody in makeouts. Also, hey Nina. And okay. Right. Maddie is going to become the fairy queen for some extremely normal seeming fairies. Yeah, I'm not this far yet. Okay, so she didn't become that yet. I was like, we're on the part of chapter 4 called Coronation, so I'm gathering that she's gonna be the fairy queen. And maybe that will be her key to coming back to life. But for now, we're still dead. But everybody's smooching. So, you know, it's a you win some, you lose some situation. Sorry for that really weird noise I just made. And we accidentally started. Yeah, ちょっと待って. Okay. Right. So because of the yeah, I made these little accessories because I thought the protagonist kind of, or I suppose that I look a little like the protagonist. So they're both. Abigail is weakening and Maddie is kind of fading because the forest is like dying because Morgan was forced to burn down like the ancient tree at the heart of the heart of the woods, if you will. I just got it. Okay. Yeah, Maddie's fading out. Forest spirit is weak. Evelyn killed an ancestral tree. That's it. Yeah, see, there's a almost title drop. Echo! Hello! Thank you for the Waluigi raid? Luigi board? Wow. Let me try and get you a shout out. Oh god. Here we go. Ah, I closed the chat doc. Thank you, Hoo Hoo, my hero. Hi, Jerome the Wise. Thank you so much for the follow. We just are getting back into Heart of the Woods, a Yuri sort of semi-horror visual novel. It's been a little while and we're about halfway in, but you know, spooky things and gay things are happening, so it's great and perfect for this month. I hope you guys had a good stream. I can't find the shout out to see what was happening. That also brings us one step closer to the Over the Garden Wall watch along that we're trying to have either this month or maybe next month. But it's good timing because I actually have I may or may not have some art for you. Was gonna post it later. But yeah, it's been a great game so far. I was just looking back up the chat history because I somehow fell off it for like 4 months. So if you're lost, you won't be alone. Right, I think we're in love. And Maddie's gonna be the new queen. I also love Over the Garden Wall. And I've got my honey melon tea here. So I'm sorry if you hear slurping once in a while. Right, but if you're new here, I'm Honey Melon. I'm a melf, that's a melon elf. I'm a princess and a Japanese to English translator. And when I am not playing games, I also do art and a lot of daytime work streams. So yeah, thanks so much again for the stream. I hope y'all enjoy your stay. And of course, if you need to go like hydrate and unhydrate and all that other good stuff, don't feel like you have to stick around. Okay, I'm gonna read now. Hopefully I remember how to read. Whoop! Or I'm gonna skip it by accident. Here we go. Heart of the Woods, Chapter 4, Part 2. Once again, we reach the grove where the fairies nest. It occurs to me that this is the only part that seems unaffected by the forest sickness. The trees are just as vibrant as ever, and the pond just as crystal clear. I assume there's going to be music again soon. We stumble into the middle, near the shore of the pond. Abigail takes several woozy steps, and I hold her shoulder to keep her steady. Then I flicker, and she starts to fall, barely managing to keep her balance. Forget days or even hours to find another solution. We might not even have minutes.
Hello?
Sound okay on the voice acting and stuff now? Also on me? I call out, a bit surprised that none of the fairies have come to greet us. I watch the trees and listen for the buzz and flutter of wings. But it remains silent and still.
Hello? Fairies!
It feels a little absurd and on the nose, but I don't know what else to say. There's no response.
Please, we need your help!
I might as well be shouting into the void. There's not even a single rustle. I notice that the birds who used to nest in the bushes seem to have abandoned this place. Tendrils of fear creep through me. What if the fairies are gone too?
Madison...
I turn towards Abigail, but she's not even looking at me.
Madison...
She just murmurs my name, over and over. I steel myself and face forward, for her.
If you can help us, I'll find you a queen. Even if it has to be me.
My voice sounds stronger than I feel. There's no reaction. My heart pounds, feeling like it's going to burst out of my chest. Seconds pass. Nothing. Beside me, Abigail has fallen silent, swaying on her feet, but looking as if she might collapse. All of her trust and hope has been placed in me. I can't let her down. I won't let her down. Just as I gather breath to yell out again, I start to hear a faint buzzing sound, deep in the trees. Something flickers, far away, but getting closer. I realize it's many somethings. Tiny lights spark to life, woven throughout and across the trees like Christmas lights. Those and the growing buzzing herald the arrival of the fairies. They burst from the trees as a swarm, nearly enough to darken the sky overhead. Like before, 3 break apart from the rest and swoop down towards us. I recognize them as the 3 I spoke to before, the ones I named Hey, Anan, and Frio.
You're back! To be queen? We've been waiting.
They watch inquisitively while the rest of the swarm hover overhead. It isn't what I want. I still barely know what being a queen would entail, much less a fairy queen. All I have is one short vision. Right, she had like a vision last time they talked to the fairies where she kind of saw what being a fairy was like. But it's not like I have time to research or to learn. There's not time for anything else. It's this or disappear forever and leave Abigail to whatever fate she's suffering. Of course, that's not an option I'm even willing to consider. I put on the sternest face I can and lock eyes with the fairy in the middle.
Only if you can help us.
Wordlessly, the 3 fairies dart forward, inspecting Abigail and me. They communicate silently with each other, leaving me to wonder what they're saying and thinking. A minute later, they return to their position in front of my face.
Name your terms. But are you sure? We think we know.
If you make us human again, and stop whatever it is that's happening to us, then I'll make sure you have a queen. Whether it's me or someone else.
I feel like I would have specified alive and not just human, but...
A queen! Who else could it be? We've spent so long looking. There's not much time left! For you or for us!
Wait, what do you mean? What are you running out of time for?
She'll make her move! Haven't you seen? The moonsick one.
Moonsick. There's that word again. I don't remember.
Moonsick one. You mean Evelyn?
Evelyn! A human name. It must be her.
I don't fully follow, but there's no one else they could be referring to. There's so much I want to ask, but I can't right now. Is the volume balance okay?
How long do we have?
Until the moon is at its brightest! That's when she's strongest. Will you be ready then?
I'll have to be.
I haven't been paying much attention to the moon, but I know that it can't be more than a week until it's full. Probably less. I really wish I had Tara's stupid shirts to use as a reference right now. Everything sounds good, thank you! I'll tag you later, because I may have done some cute girl Tober art. Ahem, okay. Tara. In all of this, I haven't even really been considering that by becoming human again, not just a ghost, I'll be able to see her. That's at least one big upside, although I don't know where we'll even begin catching up. Still, that's something else to be figured out later. Facing the fairies, I nod.
Okay.
We can start preparing! Are you ready? It won't take long.
Yeah. I just need a moment to get ready too.
She's so cute. The fairies flit off and rejoin the rest of their kind, not bothering to respond. That's fine by me. I turn back to Abigail, who's been silent throughout this entire thing. At first I thought maybe she'd passed out, but instead she's watching me with anxious eyes.
Medicine, are you sure?
Oh, I still have the little winky thing from the Among Us stream. Naughty. Okay. Softly, she leans against me. Well, she kind of falls.
Yes, I'm sure.
The fairies have all... Oh, my mouse. The fairies have all gathered nearer the pond, close to one of the trees. They watch us intently, ruining the chance of any private moment. I kiss Abigail's cheek and feel her nuzzle against me for just a moment. They're so cute!
I love you, Madison.
Ah. She says it with more strength than she's been able to muster so far.
I love you too.
How long is fine. We look into each other's eyes for one last moment. Then I turn and stride toward the fairies. I don't let myself look down. I don't let my hands shake. I keep my steps measured and even. I only glance back once to where Abigail is watching me. Then, Haye? Frio and Anan descend once more. Frio loosely grips a crown of woven flowers and leaves, as out of season as the rest of this place. Sometimes I try to read ahead, or my brain tries to read ahead. Well, I am supposed to be reading out loud, so I'm sorry if I fumble a bit. I would say that it doesn't feel real, but to tell the truth, it's been a long time since anything has.
Is it time? We hope it is. Just put this on.
That's it. All I have to do is put on the crown?
That's all for you. Is that too much? We'll do the rest.
Okay. Frio hands me the crown.
Oh.
I let it rest on my palms. It's light, barely noticeable. The flowers are all woven together so deftly that I have to wonder if it was made by magic. It's also slightly warm, like it had just been sitting in the sun for a while. I swallow the lump in my throat. This is what's best for everyone. Not just for me or Abigail, but for the whole forest.
Maddie now wears a beautiful, delicate flower crown.
With one swift motion, I reach up and place the crown on my head. It fits perfectly, as if it was made for me. I wonder if it was. The moment it touches my hair, the fairies start to move. They chatter out loud, but there are so many of them speaking that it's impossible to hear what they're saying. I don't even know if they're human words. Altogether, they sound like a forest of rustling leaves. I shut my eyes as I feel a tingling sensation. It starts at the top of my head and slowly works its way through me. It's not uncomfortable at all, but it also isn't anything ignorable. Something soft brushes against my face and hands. It feels like snow, but isn't cold. And when it melts away, there's no trace of wetness left behind. An invisible force feels like it's tugging me in every direction at once, but I stay rooted to the spot. A light scent of pine fills my nose. Somehow, it's nostalgic.
As Maddie is crowned the Fairy Queen, with her outfit changing to match her new role. Her simple jacket changes into a long, frilly green dress with white lace, decorated with blooming flowers. Oh, I know. Ah, hi. Excuse
I
me.
open my eyes, still in the middle of my metamorphosis.
It's been a while. I'm a little rusty.
Warmth spreads through my body like a hot cup of coffee, and with it comes understanding of the forest and how I'm a part of it. I'm acutely aware of its existence, tuned to its precise frequency. I imagine this must be what Abigail meant by being connected.
Yeah, the narration is really nice. I feel like I'm getting a glimpse at how it's done.
Memories that aren't mine start to run through my head. A movie that I can't shut off. Visions of trees sprouting from the earth and growing skyward, and of clouds forming and then falling apart. Each denizen of the forest, every tree, every deer, even the forest spirit itself, come to mind at once, feeling like old friends I haven't seen in a while. None of it feels new. It's not intrusive or foreign. Rather, this knowledge feels like something that's always been there, but without my awareness. Or maybe something I'd forgotten. It's comfortable. And still the fairies dance overhead, their rustling chants even louder as they perform their ritual. I wonder if all fairy queens are inaugurated this way. And at the same moment I wonder, I know instinctively that they aren't. Visions of a beautiful woman whom I immediately recognize as the missing fairy queen come to mind. And with her comes a longing, a feeling of something missing. Then as my thoughts turn, the vision and the longing are gone too. I can feel the rustle of cloth against my skin as even my clothes acknowledge the changes, taking on a life and form of their own.
This art is so gorgeous. Oh no! Alright, I'm gonna shrink up my follower goal if I can find it. It's getting in the way. Forget about that.
They lengthen and stretch and puff out, becoming a dress more elaborate and beautiful than anything I've ever worn before. Living, breathing flowers bloom from its hem right before my eyes, matching the crown on my head. I feel the magic work its way through, over, and around me, enveloping tightly. And then, as the ceremony comes close to an end, I start to feel it drain out of me. It seeps down and out, and back into the earth and air, returning to the forest that lent me its strength and trust to take on this role. As I heave a deep breath, the enormity of the responsibility that's been placed on me feels heavy, but not unbearably so.
My cat.
If anything, I'm reassured by the competence and power that I can simply feel that I have. I'm not invincible. I know that much. But for the first time in ages, I feel like I'm in control. I stumbled, just a little bit, as my feet touch the ground that I never knew I'd left. The instant that I do, the last of the shifting magic leaves me, although I can still feel it as part of the forest. Without anyone saying anything, without any confirmation, I simply know. It's done.
I am also feeling an emotion. The vibes are impeccable. The little, like, floating particles are really nice, too.
I've become the fairy queen.
Wow. Oh, so I was pretty close to the end of this chapter after all. I think. I guess I always assume. Okay. Oh, stop. That's so cute. I keep meaning to look up this artist. I love the, I mean, I love all the art, but the chapter art style is really pretty. You know what I mean. It's all really pretty, but okay. Take another sippy. I basically finished my tea already. I need more tea. It's been a couple months since I did a stream like this, so well, I'm remembering now that I was never that good at the reading aloud, but I hope I'm doing okay. All right. Melon tea absorbed. My first steps as Fairy Queen are shaky. At any moment, it feels like my legs might give out from under me. It's so pretty! I gotta draw some fan art. Yet, at the same time, I feel a strange sort of confidence and inner strength. Couldn't be me. I don't know if magic literally courses through my veins or not, but it feels that way. My next few steps as Fairy Queen are easier. I keep my gaze fixed on Abigail as I make my way towards her. She waits impatiently, concern clearly etched on her face. The fairies budge agitatedly over my head, darting and dashing in pointless patterns. Though they don't vocalize anything, I can hear their voices clearly in my head.
Our queen!
Oh, thank you, Hoo.
Welcome home. How does it feel?
I acknowledge their words, and at the same time, I can feel myself be acknowledged. It comes as naturally as breathing. I promise that I'll get to them in a moment.
Madison, are you alright?
She clings to my side, her slender arms tight around me. Though I'm not shaking anymore, her presence is still infinitely reassuring. I press my lips to her head, and we sway gently back and forth. I can feel her too, as a part of the forest. Her presence is as warm and comforting in my head as in my arms.
I'm fine. I'm totally fine.
She makes a sound that I think is a gasp, but that I soon realize is a sob. Abigail cries against my shoulder, her arms tightening like a vice. Headphone batteries are dying. I don't ever want to let her go. I hold her as tightly as I can while her body is racked with sobs. Her breath and tears are warm, almost painfully hot. The thin lace of my new outfit does little to inhibit them.
I'm so sorry that all of this is happening. I'm sorry.
Gently, I find her hands and take them in mine. I squeeze them, trying to impart the same kind of solace that she gives to me.
It's okay. Really. I'm happy things turned out this way. I'm glad that I met you, no matter the circumstances.
Her cries get stronger, and I drop one of her hands in order to brush her hair back from her tear-stained face. We hold each other tightly until she's able to calm down. Meanwhile, the fairies still continue to circle overhead, although they remain respectfully silent. Finally, Abigail heaves a steady breath and steps back just a little bit.
I'm sorry again. It was just that seeing you there with the fairy light. I mean, you looked beautiful. You still do. More than beautiful. But it made me again realize everything that you've gone through. Everything I've put you through.
I press a finger to her lips. She looks up at me, surprise replacing the sadness.
It's okay. I'd go through all of it again to end up here with you. I mean it.
Aww. Abigail sniffles heavily, and I can tell that she's trying not to cry again.
You can make it up to me by getting out of all of this with me.
She nods.
That sounds more like a gift to me than the other way around. But I'll keep being selfish and take it.
Good. I want you to be selfish.
We kiss quickly and briefly, then separate. I look up at the fairies above me, who are glad to be noticed again. Hi, Ricky! Yes, the voice acting is so good! Yeah, I can do that. I think... I can turn the voices up a bit more instead. And actually, while I'm stopping for a second, I'm gonna grab my wired headphones real quick because these ones are dying. I keep getting like sucked into the story too much to stop it. Switch them. Let's do that. Please still function when I swap these. I was able to make the swap okay for karaoke speech. Come on, baby. There we go.
Thank you for saving me like this. I owe you my life.
Oh yeah. I kind of hear what you mean. I'll turn it down a little bit more. Somehow, I've ended up owing my life to way more people than I ever expected to.
You have 3 days to keep it. That's right! You're running out of time! We can't wait much longer!
I know. I'll find a queen for you.
I know that it won't be as easy as I make it sound. After meeting some of the Eisenfeld locals, I don't get the impression that any of them would be interested in the offer. Still, I have 3 days to figure it out.
We'll be waiting. We know we'll see you again. With a new queen or not.
The ritual finished, the fairies quickly dispersed back into the trees. I'm glad there's no more ceremony or ritual to go along with my transformation. Alone with Abigail once more, I head to the shore of the pond so that I can finally get a full glimpse of myself. I can barely even recognize my own reflection. The girl staring back at me from beneath the water looks much more suited to the position of queen than I expected. She looks calm and confident, like she's unafraid of whatever happens next. I hope I'm not just fooling myself. I turn this way and that, admiring my new outfit. Atop my head, the flower crown that the fairies gave me fits comfortably. I wonder if it's meant to tempt me into staying. Abigail moves closer, peering into the water with me. As our reflections next to each other serve as a visible reminder as to why I can't stay. I owe you my life meme. As comfortable and satisfying as this newfound gift is, I have no desire to keep it at the cost of our freedom. I'll get us out of this.
Are you ready to go?
I am.
Okay. First things first, we need to get in touch with Morgan and Tara. They probably know more about the mayor than we do.
It'll also set my mind at ease a lot. There's so much that I need to say to Tara. Even if I spent all 3 of our days just talking with her, that still wouldn't be enough time.
How will we do that? Going into the village would be far too dangerous.
We don't have to. We just have to get to the cabin.
I flex my fingers, still acutely aware of the magical tingling.
And that's easy like this.
Abigail runs her fingers over mine, her skin angelically soft like always.
All right. I trust you.
I curl my fingers, squeezing her hand again.
Thank you. Speaking of which, there's something I think we should do.
I pause a moment while she waits expectantly. Much like the way my coronation just ended, What I'm about to say seems unceremonious.
I think I can return us to the physical plane, too. Both of us.
It takes a second for the implication to sink in before Abigail's eyes grow wide as saucers.
Madison! Are you sure?
Her hand clutches her heart.
Yeah, I can't explain how I know, but I just do. There's a lot of stuff that I can do now. But that way, you'll be able to talk with Morgan and Tara too. And I know that we'll need all the help we can get at the end.
I keep banishing thoughts of what that end will be, because there's only one way that this can end, putting a stop to Evelyn once and for all. I don't need that weighing on my mind along with everything else right now.
I understand. You know that I wouldn't just abandon you, Madison.
I know.
Abigail takes a deep breath, steadying herself.
Okay, I'm ready.
Silently, I step forward, taking her other hand in mine as well. I close my eyes and bow my head, and I feel her do the same. I can feel the magic course through me and out of me, spreading like vines from my fingers. It affects both me and her, taking our very forms and rebinding them to the mortal world where they belong. I can feel Abigail tense up and hear her breathing getting shallow. Still, I keep my eyes closed, willing the magic to continue working. It obeys my whims effortlessly. And then, after a minute that feels like an hour, the flow of magic slows and then stops. I open my eyes. Abigail is still there, her hands warm in mine. Her eyes slowly open as well, meeting mine. Mature, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry. My cat is, being himself again. Oh, stats. That's good. I don't think so. Alas. Oh man, now I can't even take a picture. Don't just look at me like that. He's just like tucked into a weird corner, it's fine. This close together, I can feel her breath warm against my face.
How do you feel?
A light breeze blows through. For the first time in 200 years, Abigail's gown sways in the wind.
It's cold.
I feel cold. Sorry, the amount of times that I saw Pirates of the Caribbean as a teenager, it's fine. She says and laughs, pressing herself even more tightly against me. Abigail shivers, her teeth begin chattering within seconds of her transformation. Despite how poofy it is, her gown really isn't very warm at all. Fortunately, the chill doesn't bother me. It wouldn't make sense for a fairy queen to be susceptible to the cold. But taking care of Abigail is a pressing matter.
Let's go to the cabin. I can get us there quickly.
She just nods, wrapping her arms tightly around herself. I hug her tightly as well and access the magic once again. This time, I'll use it to transport us across the forest to its very boundary where the cabin is, and where my powers stop being useful. Since the cabin and the village are technically outside the bounds of the forest, once I step past the trees, I'll just be a regular ghost again. At least until I go back into the forest. Ah, I see. So I can't get too far away. If Evelyn were to find out where we are, or make some move against us, I'd be powerless to stop her. Better to not even give her that opportunity. Still, the transportation is smooth. It doesn't even feel like we move. Instead, we close our eyes in the fairy clearing, and when we open them again, the cabin is just in front of us. Seeing it again strikes a pang in my heart. It feels like forever ago. I guess technically it was a lifetime ago. There's no time to get sentimental, though. Not when Abigail's like this. Instead, we hurry to the front door. Miraculously, the door is unlocked. I guess Morgan and Tara had more important things to worry about than locking up the last time they were here. Oh, don't like the ominous music fade out. I guess it's not ominous, it's just a scene change, it's fine. We rush inside, and I turn on both the lights and the heater. As warm air cranks out, Abigail's relief is palpable and immediate. She settles down onto one of the chairs, comfiness outweighing even her curiosity for just a moment.
Better?
Much.
She luxuriates in the feeling, eyes closed in bliss. Her fingers absent-mindedly scrape the soft cushion of the couch, which she presses her back into.
It's so soft.
Then she leaps to her feet, zooming towards the kitchen. She drags her fingers along every different surface as she goes, stopping to examine most of them. She rubs the edge of the counter.
Madison, it's so smooth and cold.
At the sink, she examines the faucets intently before spinning one of them. Cold water pours out over her hands, and she yelps in shock, but quickly grins. Oh.
Madison, it's like a river.
Then she reaches the heater, which is pretty much keeping her alive right now. Like a cat, she basks in front of it, relishing the warmth. Please don't touch the heater, sweetie. Each sensation seems to bring her immeasurable joy. For me, it had been a couple weeks. For Abigail, it had been 200 years without feeling warmth, or cold, or textures. I watched fondly. I wish we had more time to enjoy ourselves. More time to show her modern things, like films. I'm sorry. It feels like Am I being punked? It always strikes me funny that she says films instead of movies. Maybe that's just a difference in local dialect. I remind myself that I can't think like that. We just don't have the time yet. We just have to get through this. Then we'll have all the time in the world. Oh, I'm so worried that there's very few choices in this game, and I'm so worried that I made a wrong one. I've made one? Or, I think two?
I'm going to get you some warmer clothes.
Oh, yes.
I'll be right back.
They were both ghosts. So Abigail has been a ghost for 200 years. Maddie has been a ghost for like a week or two. She sort of got bamboozled by the evil lady, who's not really a lady, she's like a creature. And like went out into the forest in a snowstorm and sort of died. But Abigail was able to like save her spirit, at least to the point of turning her into a ghost. So they've just been having like ghost hangouts and ghost makeouts, maybe, for the past week or two. Maybe a little longer? Well, she just said how long. A couple weeks, okay.
All right.
Bye! She's still plopped in front of the heater, closer than I would have thought is comfortable. She's been having ghost adventures. We've been... well, I guess they haven't been ghost busting. They've been the opposite of that. Smiling, I head into what had once been my bedroom. It's been rearranged a bit. My suitcase has been shoved to one corner, forgotten. My laptop sits atop my bed, although most of the video gear is missing. Tara and Morgan must have taken it with them when they left. Good thinking. I start booting up my laptop while I roll the suitcase to my bed and start sifting through my clothes. After everything I've been through, the actions feel so mundane that I have to give myself a second just to let it all sink in. Everything's been moving so fast since that night Abigail and I kissed by the water. There's hardly been a chance to breathe. Still, being back on familiar territory with familiar comforts is reassuring. It makes me feel like a human again. Something as simple as being able to push a button on my computer and watch it respond is a little miracle that I don't think I'll take for granted again. Getting used to the necessities of normal life, like eating and sleeping, will definitely take some time though. Same with keeping warm. Unfortunately for Abigail, my clothes are the only option she has. They won't fit her as well, but they should be better than that nightgown she's been wearing for so long. Outfit change? I complete the outfit with a cute hat. I hope she likes it.
Here you go.
I like that face.
They're not the best fit, but they should at least keep you warm.
Abigail hurries over and reverently takes the bundle from me.
Are these your clothes?
Yeah, they are. I hope that's okay.
She holds the bundle to her chest.
I'll treasure them.
I show her to the bathroom and also explain how everything works. I have to admire her restraint in just accepting everything modern in stride. Yes! Abigail reappears in some of Madison's clothes, wearing a warmly knit hat, long gray skirt, and purple coat. That is a look, girl. Cute. It isn't too long before she emerges once again. She holds her arms wide, the clothes hanging a little loosely from her in parts, but she's smiling.
How do I look?
Gorgeous.
Adorable. That's the word I managed to stammer out, though there's a whole slew of them that would work. Call me biased, but I think my clothes look better on her than on me. It's a quality hat. Giggling, she does a slow spin, showing off more.
The person who chose them has wonderful taste.
Love her little, like, doyagawa. The smug face. Abigail gets comfortable in the living room while I grab my laptop from the bed. I sit down beside her, turning it so she can see.
This is a computer. It can do a ton of things, but it also lets people talk via long distances.
Don't say it like that.
And that's how you're going to contact Tara?
You had enough time to tell her about computers.
Right.
Abigail watches with rapt attention as I open a browser and wait for the painfully slow internet to load my email. Oh my god, she's gonna email her. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Love to get an email from my presumed dead best friend.
There are so many different pictures and words. Don't you ever lose track of where you are?
Yeah, sometimes.
Not really. You get used to it.
Surely you're being modest. I imagine very few people could operate one of these.
I love her! That's so cute. Hey. No. Okay, I guess that worked. Was that
wish. But really, most people have one of their own. Or even more than one.
I wish. That was very, my love story moment. You know, Ore Monogatari.
They're a really common part of everyday life.
Ira!
I see. In that case, you'll have to teach me.
Definitely. For now, though, I'm going to send that message.
How will it be transported?
It's,
I tried to think of how to explain this. Then I realized that I have the perfect analogy.
You know how the forest is all totally connected? Like, how you can sense all the different parts of it?
Abigail nods, and slowly her face gets pale.
medicine. Don't tell me that modern people are connected in the same way.
I can't help it. I burst out laughing. Indignantly, she waits for me to finish. It takes me past the point of having tears in my eyes before I do. I mean, it is horrible. She's kind of right.
I can see that I was wrong.
She pretends to pout, though I can see in her eyes that she's just playing.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just that you look so horrified.
She laughs too.
Well, imagine how I feel. Apparently nothing is impossible anymore, so I simply have to assume the worst.
She snuggles against me, pressing her cheek against my shoulder to show that she's only pretending to be upset.
So, go on. Do explain it then.
It's not the people who are connected, but the machines. If you have a computer, you can send a message instantly to any other computer in the world. It's more complicated than that, but that's the easy way to put it.
I see. So you're going to send a message to Tara's computer?
Right. I'm going to tell her to come and meet us here. I hope she'll believe it's me.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm sure that she'll know, somehow.
I nod, entering Tara's email address into the field. It feels absurdly formal to be sending an email of all things to get in touch with her. I don't think we've ever had an email conversation in our lives. I feel like Maddie and I think in similar ways sometimes. Maybe I'm just biased to feel a kinship as a similar color palette, I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I leave the subject line blank. Anything I could put there would feel comical. R.E. I am still alive. Email subject I lived, bitch. That's perfect. Even better. I don't really know how to word the rest of this message, so I don't think about it. I just put my fingers to the keys and start to type. Dear Tara, I know this is going to sound kind of hard to believe. Yeah. Oh, so bright. Oh. Okay. Yes! Oh my god. The boys are back in town. The boys are the girls. I'm acquainting Abby with modern technology when the sound of loud voices from outside interrupts a mid-sentence. Well, one very obnoxiously loud voice. I only know one person who can make a racket like that. Hey! I grab Abigail's hand and lead her out into the living room just in time to hear Tara and Morgan reach the door. I hope you included at least like a footnote about Abigail and how you have a girlfriend now who's a ghost.
Babe, stop for a second. We don't know for sure this isn't a trap.
Yeah, but what if it's not? I can't take that chance. I'm going in.
Tara, wait!
The door flies open so hard it bangs against the wall. Tara freezes in the doorway, probably not expecting me to be right here. Or maybe even here at all.
Hey.
Nailed it. Everything I had rehearsed and planned to say in my head is forgotten in an instant. Somehow, this feels more unreal than anything else so far. I never had time to doubt any of the stuff that's happened to me. I had plenty of time to doubt that I'd see Tara again. Tara's mouth flaps up and down like a nutcracker statue. I don't think she forms a single coherent word. Morgan approaches from behind and places a protective hand on Tara's shoulder, which seems to reset her. She rubs her eyes as she stares at me. Either she doesn't believe what she's seeing or she's about to cry. Maybe both.
You changed your look a little bit, huh?
The finger guns. When she finally speaks, her voice shakes like crazy.
You like it?
Tara gives me a slight nod.
It makes you look like a total nerd.
No! Stop, I'm gonna cry too. Without another word, she bursts into tears. She doesn't even hesitate a moment before bounding forward like an excited, tear-stained racing dog. I've spent so long worrying about her that seeing her safe and sound in the flesh is almost too much to handle. There are so many things that we left unsaid or unresolved. I'm just glad that there's time to fix that now.
I thought you were dead.
Me too.
We both burst into laughter, still punctuated with sobs. It still feels a touch loud to me. I am just sensitive. But at least we both have the clarity of mind to tell that this hug has gone on for way too long. When we split apart, she has a big dumb grin on her big dumb face.
Welcome back, Mads.
Good to be back, Tara.
Oh. Our reunion over, Morgan finally steps forward, taking Tara's hand in her own. She smiles at me, her expression soft for once.
Hey, Maddie. It's good to see you again.
Her voice is as calm as ever, but the wide, genuine smile on her face tells me that these last couple weeks have changed her as much as they changed me.
You too, Morgan.
I feel like I should say something more than that, but I know neither of us is much for words. It's nice to have someone else around who feels the same way for once.
Before anything else, there's someone I'd like to introduce you to.
Hey, it's loud, isn't it? It's just me? How's that? I mean, the music is great. Everything's loud to me all the time. I turn to gesture for Abigail, but at first she's nowhere to be seen. Then I spot a familiar flash of pink and purple lingering by my bedroom door. Right. We've spent so long together that I had forgotten how timid she was when we first met. Her eyes are wide as she wrings her hands, looking from me to Tara and back. Tara and Morgan look just as shocked once they notice her. Okay, it does go pretty loud. Does you, ne? I head over to where Abigail is and take her hand.
They're okay. I promise.
She nods, letting herself be led back into the living room.
Tara, Morgan, I'd like you to meet Abigail.
I pause for a moment.
She's my girlfriend.
Whoa, we do have a lot to catch up on.
She turns to face Abigail.
I'm Tara. I've been friends with Maddie for forever.
It's nice to finally meet you, Tara. I've heard a lot about you.
Hell yeah! All good things, I hope?
Mostly.
I'll take it.
Morgan steps forward too. Ah! It's very exciting to have the gang together at last.
Morgan, nice to meet you.
Abigail nods politely.
You as well.
So, let's sit down. We've got a lot of catching up to do and not a whole lot of time to do it.
The four of us move to the couch and sit down. Right as we do, though, there's a loud grumble from beside me. Abigail clutches her stomach, looking absolutely mortified.
What was that? What's happening?
Oh, yeah. We should probably eat something.
Eat.
Her eyes light up.
That's right! I'm hungry!
Morgan and Tara look baffled. I can't blame them for that one.
Like I said, long story. Is there anything to eat? It's been a long time since either of us have had a meal.
I'll make us some breakfast. Cross your fingers for pancake mix.
Is it morning? Breakfast
Anyway,
is an
I
anytime
think that's
meal.
everything.
Minus the really juicy stuff, anyway.
Tara.
I'm okay with not hearing about that. Thanks.
Abigail, now finally finished with her meal, wraps her arm around mine and rests her head against me. Morgan sighs and sends Tara and me a meaningful look. She rises and clears her throat.
Abigail, would you mind coming with me for a minute?
Morgan's voice carries a more serious tone that feels like a sudden departure from our lighthearted reminiscing. You were lightheartedly reminiscing over the things that have happened in the past couple of weeks? And I guess they were probably... Okay, it's fine. I knew it couldn't last forever, but I'm hopeful we can return to it soon.
Is something wrong?
No, not at all. But there's something we need to talk about. And besides...
She looks at Tara, then over to me. Her tone might be serious, but her soft expression makes it clear she's not about to deliver any bad news.
These two might need a bit of privacy.
I nod at her as Abigail lets go of my arm. With a quick kiss on the cheek, she stands and walks to Morgan's side. The two of them head towards the bedrooms, leaving Tara and I to stare at each other in silence. We look away from each other awkwardly as I try to think of what to say. Should I speak first? Should I wait for her? What do I say? She knows how much I missed her, but there was so much tension between us before I died. I never had a chance to apologize for hiding Abigail, or for how I handled telling her I was going to quit. I take a deep breath and raise my head. I just need to go for it. I've spent enough time waiting to speak. Whatever happens, happens.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I shouldn't have...
It was really shitty of me to...
I just...
We both slam our mouths shut again. Tara's face reddens and she chuckles softly.
Maybe we should take turns.
As long as you don't mind going first.
She takes a long, overly dramatic breath and closes her eyes.
I know I was shitty to you about leaving. I should have listened to you and accepted it instead of being all bitter and passive-aggressive. And I know I was even shittier once we got evidence. I shouldn't have frozen you out like that.
Maybe a bad choice of words there, Tara.
Ugh, too soon.
I mean, I shouldn't have ignored you the way I did. I want you to be a part of Terranormal. I really do. Trying to exclude you was stupid and impulsive.
I mean. She looks me right in the eyes, and I can tell that all her typical bravado is gone. Bravado. This is pure, naked honesty. It's hard enough for me to manage something like that, much less her. She's really put her heart into this, and I'm more than grateful for that.
When all of this is over, whatever you decide to do, I won't stand in your way. You know I always want you to be a part of Terranormal, but you gotta be your own person. And you're my best friend. Thinking I might have lost you forever made me realize I honestly have no idea what I'd do without you. I give you a lot of shit, but I really do love you. I'm so sorry this all happened because I was too much of a screw-up to remember that.
Tara exhales and slumps back in her chair, as if the act of apologizing drained all the energy in her body. She's grown so much in the short time we've been here. Then again, so have I. I need to make sure I show her the same sincerity in return.
I'm sorry too, Tara. Even if I was mad, I shouldn't have hidden Abigail from you. It made things worse for both of us. And it drove us apart when we should have been getting closer than ever. But more than that, I shouldn't have set this whole thing into motion the way I did.
The memory of our fight back home is painful, but I can't keep trying to run away instead of dealing with it head on. It's not fair to either of us.
I should have told you I was thinking about leaving, and why I was thinking it. I should have talked things over with you, instead of dropping the bomb on you right before we left.
So that's how it
When I
happened.
thought I was going to be stuck here forever, I realized you were the person I'd miss more than anyone else. Even more than my family. I don't know what I'm going to do when we get back. I still have a lot to figure out. But I do know that whatever happens, we'll always be best friends.
Mads, hi.
As she struggles to think of what to say next, I gently put my arms around her in a reassuring hug. We've said enough for now. She hugs back, squeezing a bit too hard. We stay that way until it starts to get awkward, as hugs between us tend to do. I pull away and sit back down, a bit embarrassed.
So, are we good?
I let out a deep breath, releasing the anxiety that had been twisting my stomach in knots. Whatever happens next, I know it'll be easier without that dragging me down.
Yeah. I think we're good.
Are we good enough for me to start calling you the ghost with the most?
Don't push it.
Okay, since there's a scene change, narration change now, I gotta step away for a second and get some water. I might even make some more tea. So I'll be back in like 5 minutes. Hi, Tadaima. I'm back. My god, having a gas stove is the best. I swear making tea on our ancient electric stove used to take like 15 minutes. I have no idea how long that was actually, but it felt faster. Okay, so we're morning now. I have made more tea. And it still needs to steep and it's very hot. Let's go. I end up bringing Abigail into Tara's room. The two of us carefully step over the pile of clothes on the floor to sit on the bed. She bounces on it a few times. I don't think she's used to springs.
Having fun?
How do you people sleep in these? Aren't you afraid of just bouncing out of bed?
It's not that bouncy. It's just comfortable.
I suppose tomorrow I can let you know if I agree. So, what is it you wanted to talk about?
It's
hard to put into words. No matter what I had been preparing myself for, a conversation like this wasn't part of it.
It's about family.
I had a suspicion.
Our family.
Know it! Sorry.
Our-
Sorry.
You're a Dulcing as well?
I'm a Fisher, actually. But a change in last name doesn't change the fact that we're part of the same family.
At first, I couldn't believe it. When Maddie and Abigail were telling their story, I thought that there must have been some sort of misunderstanding, or that I'd heard wrong. But the details all matched up. Not just with what Evelyn's told me over the years, as she tried to break my spirit, but with the notes and journals left behind by those before me.
So she hasn't changed after all these years. It's still us.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be next. There isn't anyone else. No siblings or aunts or uncles. Just me and her.
She makes a sound of sympathy and moves closer to me on the bed, touching my shoulder gently. I tense up, almost shaking hard enough to shrug her off. But she remains. I don't want to be that person anymore. The one afraid to let anyone close, physically or emotionally.
I'm sorry.
I just nod. I can tell that she doesn't know what to say either, and that's fine.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
Sure.
Why didn't you leave? Back in my time, it wasn't even a possibility. There was no way I could have escaped. We wouldn't have gotten very far if we'd tried. But now, Madison's told me about all sorts of fantastic machines and devices. Surely you could have gone.
I shrug. Of course I considered it. Dreamed about it, even. But there's no way she could know that. And besides...
I thought about running away many times. I thought of a lot of different ways to make sure she couldn't hurt me anymore. But the same thing stopped me every time. She wouldn't just give up because I'm not around. She'd find someone else, just like she always has. And they'd die instead.
I brace for her to tell me that that's ridiculous, and that I should have put myself first. Or to burst into tears at the very notion. Instead, she laughs. It's not a happy laugh, though.
I see. I understand. Truly. I chose to die for someone else's sake as well. Someone I cared about very deeply.
She sighs wistfully, remembering days long gone. I can't help but smile, the same way that she laughed.
I see I'm just carrying on the family tradition then.
Let's make sure it ends with you.
I nod. It will, one way or another.
I am glad, though, to know that her family turned out to have people as wonderful as you.
I'm really not anything that special.
I disagree. Not just anyone could have done what you have.
She leans forward, wrapping her arms around me in a gentle hug. Oh. This time, I don't hesitate. I hug her back. Family. It's never been a word that really meant much to me. All I've ever had was the monster in my home. Now, though, I realize that that's no longer the case. We separate, and I gesture toward the door. She nods. Together, we leave the room and rejoin the rest of our family. Wah! Abigail and Morgan come out of Tara's room and join us, both smiling. I'll have to ask her what they talked about later tonight. But right now, I'm just enjoying the moment. I feel more at peace than at any time since arriving in Eisenfeld. Even during the sweetest moments with Abigail, there was still the lingering bleakness of being a ghost. Now, despite the threat of Evelyn, it feels like there's a chance of everything turning out well. I should have saved at the beginning of this chapter. Yeah, I figured that as much too. As we talk, Morgan's cat comes and hops up on my lap. I would have expected her to take to Abigail, not me. I scratch behind her ears and she leans into the motion, purring contentedly. Tara notices and sits up straight.
Wait a sec. Mads, I just realized. But you haven't met Gelidura yet, right?
I have. Back in the shop, right after we arrived. Remember?
No, I mean like, met her. Morgan was right. She really can talk.
She can.
I can.
The cat looks up from my lap, staring into my eyes. Her tail swishes lazily.
If I feel like it.
Both Abigail and Maddie stare in shock at the talking cat.
Then why didn't you sooner?
It's the first question that comes to mind. Gelidura closes her eyes. After a moment, I start to think that she's fallen asleep. But then she opens them once more. Oh! Jelly Dorito. That's really good, because I trip up on that name every time. I would imagine it was difficult. That's so cool though. Jelly Dorito. Thought it said jelly donut at first, but that would be too easy. Okay. Gelidura opens her eyes. Am I saying it right? I feel like there's a little roll of the R in there, but I'm really not good at that. After a moment, I start to think that she's fallen asleep, but then she opens them once more.
I didn't feel like it.
Yeah. Fair. I look over at Morgan, sitting across from me.
I guess I owe you an apology.
It's fine. She certainly didn't make it easy to believe.
Oh! Gelidura stands up, her tail lashing as she strides over to drape herself across Abigail. In response, Abigail strokes Gelidura's fur, looking almost as gleeful as when we had our first meal. Jelly Dorito Director's Cut one.
I didn't know if I could trust you. Now I know.
I leave the two of them to their cooing and cuddling and walk over to the front window, peering outside. How many times have I stared at the stars these past few nights? Abigail taught me a few constellations, but tonight, it looks like an entirely different sky. I rest my head against the window pane, soaking in the starlight and calm.
Hey, by the way, You said you only came into the village that one time, right?
Yeah, we didn't want to risk it any more than that. Not with how close we came to Evelyn.
Makes sense. You, didn't see anything embarrassing when you were spying on us, right?
We weren't spying. Or at least we weren't trying to. But no, thank God.
Oh, phew. For real, though, after this is over, but before we leave, you've got to show us some of the cool spots in the forest.
I don't know if she's really gonna want to go back. Well,
Sure, that'd be fun. Actually, do you want to go right now?
Oh, wait, for real?
I can show you the fairy clearing at least. That's our favorite spot.
How long a walk is it? It's getting kinda late.
Oh, we wouldn't need to walk.
Tara's face slowly morphs from puzzlement to excitement as she realizes what I'm suggesting.
You mean, like, magic?
I nod.
Oh, hell yeah!
Yeeted the cat. Her enthusiasm startles Sheladora, who hops up and runs away. Abigail gestures in vain for her to come back.
You two up for a field trip?
Oh no! That's the cat experience. Abigail, still upset at losing her new friend, nods stiffly and says nothing.
Sure.
Sheladora traipses back in, returning to Abigail's feet. Abigail perks up immediately.
Would you like to come with us, Miss Jaeladora?
Sheladora.
I suppose so. Oh, carry me.
Incredible. God, why does she have that accent? I guess she's allowed. She's a talking cat. Slash, mysteries. I lead everyone outside and into the tree line, just in case there's anyone watching. I gather everyone into a circle, and the four of us lock hands while Sheladora perches on Abigail's neck.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
The forest greets me, and I respond in kind. It shows us the way to its heart, to the lake. I hold Abigail and Tara's hands tightly, and we breathe the softest sigh. I thank the forest. Then I open my eyes, and we're here. As soon as we arrive, I can feel the presence of the fairies in my mind. They're instantly aware of where we are, and I send them all a mental greeting, which is returned right away. Sheladora slicks her ears back, and her tail begins to lash harder than before. I wonder if she can feel magic too. Before I can ask, Tara whistles in awe.
Dang, Mads. You really leveled up, huh?
I put all my skill points into magic.
Nice nerd voice. Even Morgan looks dumbstruck, something I'm not used to from her. She tilts her head back, staring in open-mouthed wonder at the glimmering trees and fairy lights.
What is this place? Are we really still in the forest?
Yes, it's a very special grove. It was one of the first places I brought Madison. We came back here many times.
It definitely feels magical. Oh, damn it. I should have brought my camera.
We all head down to the pond. Tara and Morgan gawk at its unfrozen waters in the same way I did when I first saw it. I feel a strange sense of pride seeing them so excited about this place. A loud buzzing sound suddenly fills the air. Before I can warn Tara and Morgan what's about to happen, fairies burst forth from the trees. Tara yelps in shock as they pass over her, wings beating noisily.
Your Majesty! You're back! You returned!
Hello, you three.
It's nice to be greeted so enthusiastically, even if I didn't exactly want to be queen. I wave, expecting the three to come to me right away. But to my surprise, the fairies sail right past me and flock around Abigail instead.
Oh,
Philodora hisses as Abigail shrinks back, looking afraid.
I'm not your queen. She's over there.
Abigail tries to point at me, but the fairies ignore her.
No, you're not. We know you aren't. It isn't you.
One of them reaches for Gelidora, and she swats at the fairies with one paw, just like Abigail did when we first encountered them. The fairies react with shocked indignance, their mouths open in identical shapes of puzzlement. They abandon verbal communication and instead emanate a wave of questioning curiosity. Although I can feel it, it's not directed at me. By listening, or rather by feeling, I realize who they're communicating with. Gelidora.
Whoa.
Just to be sure I'm right, the communicator requests for confirmation. Despite her discomfort, Gelidora turns to me from Abigail's arms, blinking languidly.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, Queen Cat. I had my suspicions, but it's still very good. Now I'm the one whose jaw drops in shock.
Care to fill us in, Mads?
Cat? Gelidora? Fairy Queen.
Everyone is silent for a moment, even the fairies. Then Abigail clears her throat.
Does that mean I should set you down then?
No, this is fine.
Wait a second. A little seed of hope blooms instantly within my heart. The fairies answer my question before I can even think it. The seed of hope withers and dies in response. Oh no!
Maddie?
I guess that would have been too easy. I closed my eyes tightly. I see Gelidora in my mind's eye, and the rest of the world fades away as I speak to her. Once again, the fabrics of time tear and disappear. The fairies guide our voices. Gelidora can't be Fairy Queen. Not anymore. Not after what the Moonsick one did to her. Oh no! Evelyn. I didn't like whatever that was. The last pieces of the puzzle fall into place. I see it clearly. Evelyn, the rogue fairy, burning under the moonlight. The Fairy Queen ritual gone wrong. Gelidora running after Evelyn. And then disappearing. Without realizing it, I've reached out for Gelidora. Stroking her fur, the fairies and I communicate with the heart of the woods. Ah. To free her and restore her rightful place on the throne. The woods ushers forth its strength. The fairies conglomerate around us, the buzzing increasing in frequency until it's a dull hum. I reach within myself. The waxing moon basks the scene, and I gather its light into a pool of my hands. Reaching out, I feel the magic on Gelidora begin to vibrate violently. I know, title drop! I was trying not to ruin the mood, but I was absolutely doing air horns on the inside. It burns to the touch. Gelidora yowls in pain, and all at once the magic shatters and melts away. With a gasp, I'm back to the present. Abigail rushes over to catch me, and the effects of time return. Their interest in their obsolete queen waning, the fairies clump back up and get ready to depart.
We'll see you again soon. When the moon is at its brightest. One way or another.
With that cheerful reminder, they take off, fading out of sight. I separate their thoughts from my own and push them away.
Madison, what happened?
I take a deep breath and steady myself. Abigail scoops the pained Gelidora into her arms, petting and cooing.
It's a long story. I'll tell you later. Gelidora, are you alright?
Yes. It was foolish to think you, new Spring Queen, could dispel such a powerful curse on a waxing moon.
Gelidora turns away and grips herself. I feel a rush of guilt. Tara touches my arm slightly.
You okay, Mads?
Yeah, I'm fine.
She grins and pats my back. Trying to ease the mood, she stretches wide and lets out a huge, nervous laugh.
Oh, good. Well, that wasn't like anything I expected. The fairies, especially.
What did you think they'd be like?
I have no idea. But it definitely didn't involve your cat being a queen.
I would have gotten you the nicer cat food if I'd known.
Yo, Gelato, how come you never told us you were a fairy queen?
Celadora doesn't even deign to look at Tara.
You never asked.
Son of a gun. As soon as we arrive back at the cabin, Abigail makes a mad dash towards the couch and flops down on it with a loud thud. I'm a little surprised by how quickly she covers the distance. Celadora leaps from her arms and trots over to the kitchen, immediately sticking her face in her food bowl. This cat is very accurately depicted.
Oh, my feet.
Are they sore? I can imagine walking around again after so long might be a bit draining.
No, it's not that. It's these boots.
Abigail kicks off her boots and sends them flying, eliciting a yelp of surprise from Tara as one of the boots nearly hits her dead on.
Your feet are bigger than mine. Do you have any idea what it feels like to get snow in your boots for the first time in 200 years?
The three of us shudder in unison at the thought. Tara takes another step away from the boot, as if she's afraid of it infecting her with cold feet.
I can tell you right now that when we do go to America, I'm going to be spending the entirety of the winter months indoors.
Oh, girl, if that ain't the biggest fucking mood. That's the mood of all time. I can't help grinning at her words. Even if it wasn't entirely serious, that's the first time I've heard her speak about our future together with that much certainty. I make my way to the couch and sit down beside her, putting my arm around her without a second thought. She leans against me, our bodies perfectly aligned. Oh! Oh my god, cute! Reunited at last, the four girls spend a precious, relaxed moment together at the cabin. Abigail and Maddie listen to Tara tell a story, while Morgan watches lovingly from the kitchen. Ugh, this is precious. This is Tay-Tay.
When the summer months roll around, I am definitely taking you ladies to the beach.
Abigail instantly perks up at that, clasping her hands together and leaning towards Tara with a huge grin on her face.
Yes! Goodness! The sand, the sun. I'd love to see the ocean.
Morgan seems a little less enthusiastic about the prospect of the beach, her face an expression more of concern than excitement.
If we go to the beach, I'm going to end up looking like a lobster.
Yeah, but you'd be a really hot lobster.
So smooth. I try as hard as I can to suppress a groan, but Morgan and Abigail both chuckle. Abigail I can understand, but the fact that Morgan genuinely finds this kind of thing endearing is baffling.
Thanks, babe. So, Abigail, what's the most interesting invention you've seen since you came back?
I suppose... I haven't seen much of it, but the internet seems like a wonderful tool. I love the idea of being connected and sharing thoughts, feelings, and creativity with everyone around the world.
I mean, on the one hand, she's not wrong. On the other hand, you sweet summer child.
My girl! There isn't a single person more qualified to teach you about the internet than I am. We are gonna have a blast.
There is no way I'm going to let you be the one to show her around the web. You get into enough trouble on your own.
But Madison, doesn't Tara perform on the internet? I assume that means she's very knowledgeable about its workings.
Tara raises an eyebrow and leans down to place her hands on the table, staring closely at Abigail.
So Mads told you about Terranormal, huh?
Oh no.
She told me some things. I know you tell stories about supernatural occurrences and that you take them very seriously, even when they're quite obviously untrue.
Did she now?
Sweetie, maybe we shouldn't.
And she told me that people all over the world enjoy watching you. It sounds like you must be an incredible storyteller.
Nice save.
Tara breaks into the same massive grin she always puts on when she knows she's found a new audience.
You don't know the half of it, Abby. I've got a million of them.
I roll my eyes and lean back against the couch. Abigail just moves closer, ready to hear whatever Tara's going to say next. Just looking at her feels healing. If listening to Tara's stories makes her happy, then Tara can tell as many stories as she wants. Not that I'd ever tell Tara that, of course. One story turns to another. Morgan and I will chime in with a correction every now and then, but we mostly let Tara work her magic. Abigail keeps asking questions, and Tara keeps eating them up. If Morgan's anything like me, she must enjoy seeing the girl she loves acting so happy. I know I am. I don't know what's going to happen after this. We're still in danger. We still don't have a way out. But that doesn't mean we can't enjoy our time together. All of us. I just wish I could shake the feeling that this is the last time we'll have this chance. Don't say it! We stay like that for a while, telling stories, making jokes, and most importantly, talking about our future. Whether it happens or not, talking about it puts all of us at ease. We talk about sharing technology with Abigail, getting her and Morgan new wardrobes, where we're going to go on dates when we get back. In those moments, it all feels real, like we're remembering moments that haven't happened yet. Eventually, the sun begins to dip below the horizon. We have another huge meal to Abigail's delight. Afterwards, Tara tells her even more stories as Morgan and I clean up after them. I'm not sure if the four of us are going to stay in one apartment for long when we get back, but I think I'd really enjoy being around Tara and Morgan. Not as much as I enjoy being around Abigail, of course, but enough enjoyment to make me want to stick with them. In time, Abigail starts to yawn and blink wearily as Tara talks. She hasn't had a chance to sleep since she got her body back, so she's no doubt unprepared for the strength that the bodies need to rest. When the sun finally sets, we say our goodbyes and head for the room. I'm already looking forward to tomorrow. Stop raising flags, girl. I close the door to Tara's room and lean against it to steady myself. I'm still trying to process everything that's happened. I have family. Real family. Family that doesn't want to hurt me. And I'm not just talking about Abigail. When I was watching the three of them talk and laugh together, I felt like I was home. Like this is where I've always belonged. Like it's what I deserve.
Hey, you okay?
Tara's sitting on the bed in front of Morgan, worried.
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry, just trying to wrap my head around all this.
I getcha. There's a lot to unpack. You can take your time with it. I guess that means now isn't really a good time to talk, huh?
What do you mean?
I wanted to talk to you about something, or ask you about something, I don't know. It can wait if you still want to work on getting your stuff sorted.
Is something wrong?
A surprisingly caring girlfriend.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I've just been thinking about some stuff.
Surprisingly, but you know what I mean.
Like...
Tara takes a deep breath and scoots back on the bed. She curls her legs up towards herself, taking on a surprisingly subdued posture.
It's... well... You know how Abby's been calling us a couple all day? Even though we told her we're not?
Are you still saying you're
Yeah,
not?
she's not very good at taking hints.
I'm not sure if that's it. I think she's just, like, direct. Kinda like you. Runs in the family, I guess. I know we agreed that we were going to stay friends, or whatever you'd call this, until this is all over. I get that.
Right, because they aren't, girlfriends.
But after seeing the two
I mean,
of
they
them,
are.
I'm not sure if I feel like that anymore. We've still got a lot of shit left to deal with. We still don't have a plan, but I think that's okay.
She shrugs half-heartedly and looks down. I want to give her a hug, but I can't move.
Abby put a name on this thing we have when we couldn't, and maybe she's wrong, but I don't want her to be. I really love you, Morgan. I don't want to deny that. I want to be closer than just friends that love each other.
Don't.
The word leaves my mouth before I have a chance to think about it. Oh no!
What?
Please don't ask.
I'm sorry. I thought...
It's not that I don't want to. That's why I'm asking you not to say it. Because I know I'll say yes if you do.
She looks up at me. I can practically hear the cogs turning in her head.
Why don't you want to say yes?
People get hurt when they get close to me. I don't even like having friends because of how guilty I feel when Evelyn gets in the way. I'm already so close to you. Closer than I've ever been to anyone. But if I put a label on it, a part of me just feels like it would put you in more danger.
I feel so stupid saying it out loud. It's just a word. Why am I so afraid of a word?
Besides, I've never had a girlfriend before. I don't know what it could mean for me. Or for you.
What do you mean? What about the one that taught you how to knit?
Oh no. How could I have forgotten about that lie? It was just so easy to say back then. Made me seem like I knew what I was doing. Made it easier to ignore what happened with those girls. Kara's understood everything about me. But I still don't want to tell her about what I did with them. Or why I did it. Oh god, what? Hello?
Hey, it's cool. I've had plenty of girls lie about having girlfriends before. It's just a thing people do. We can just forget about it. We're past lies now, right?
Her words stab at me like needles. It's not like she's trying to force this out of me. I could even tell myself that this isn't a lie. That's just not telling her about something she never asked about.
There's more to it than a simple lie.
Wait, what am I saying? What am I doing?
There are still things I haven't told you about me. About what I've done. Things that could make you change your mind.
Tara manages a weak smile. It's hard to be reassuring when you don't know what you're reassuring someone about.
If you don't want to date, that's okay. I get it. But nothing you can tell me is going to change how I feel about you.
He sits forward again and pats a spot on the bed next to her. But right now, I'd rather be miles away from her, not closer. I hate feeling like this. I finally learned how to get close to people, and now I'm back to pushing her away.
Do you remember what I called myself the first time we talked to Jailadora?
A shell. But you know that's bullshit now, right? We're gonna make sure Evelyn can't get in your head anymore.
Evelyn isn't the only one that made me feel that way.
My throat feels dry. I need something to drink. But I know what'll happen if I stop. If this closes, it won't open again.
I didn't learn how to knit from an ex-girlfriend. I learned from Hannah. I had feelings for her. We were close. But she cut off all contact with me when I told her how I felt. Word travels fast in Eisenfeld. Within a week, everyone in the village knew I was gay. That's when bad things started happening to Hannah.
Oh.
She She slipped on a patch of ice and broke her leg. A few days later, her dog died. The next week, she came down with the worst flu any of us had ever seen. I knew it was Evelyn's doing, but who was going to believe me? As far as they were concerned, all this happened because she rejected me. I'm pretty sure some of the older people in the village still think I'm a witch.
I clench my fists, digging my nails as far into my palm as they'll go before my limbs freeze up. As far as they'll go until the icy hex within me takes over again.
Nobody talked to me for a month. You told me that you spoke to some girls our age back when you were doing interviews. Did you ask them about me?
Yeah, we did.
What did they say?
Nothing really bad or anything. One of them seemed closer to you than the other two, and her friend was kind of teasing her about it. Just typical stuff.
As if any of them have the right to mock each other. They're all the same.
I probably slept with her.
I wait for Tara to voice her disbelief, but she doesn't say a word.
After Hannah got better, girls started coming by the store.
I see. Girl, as long as you don't have a bunch of bodies buried out back, I think you're fine.
They always had some kind of excuse. They'd start dropping hints. Talk about how they'd always been curious about what it was like to be with a girl. How they didn't have anywhere to be that day.
I still can't look at her. Any rational person would judge me for this. I know I've judged myself plenty.
They always left right after. Most of them wouldn't talk about it. They'd just go back to their normal lives. I guess some of them talked, though. Soon enough, I got a reputation. I knew I was being used. I resigned myself to being a shell. So I let them use that shell.
Aw, baby. I don't know when I started moving, but before I know it, I'm standing by the bed.
Evelyn never let me feel like this body belonged to me. She chose my clothes, she chose my style, she even chose what I do with my hair. It was her body, and she wanted it how she liked it.
I can't keep standing. As much as I want to push away, I sit down next to Tara. Looking at her face, I can't tell what she's thinking. My mind runs through every worst-case scenario as I make myself push onward.
But things have been different with you. For the first time, sex started to mean something. Being open started to seem possible. Being myself started to seem possible. But all I know about myself is how easy it is for other people to use me. If I go out into the world and live for myself, I don't know what kind of person I'm going to become.
The shaking has started to subside, replaced by a painful knot in my gut. Almost there. I can make it.
What if I end up becoming someone you can't love? What if my shell is the only worthwhile part of me?
Maybe. Without warning, Tara throws her arms around me and pulls me close. I wrap my arms around her waist without even thinking.
You're not a shell, Morgan. You're the furthest thing from that. Just because someone tried to make you something other than yourself, or because people took advantage of you, that can't destroy the real you. That you has always been there. And I know it a lot better than you might think.
Oh. She nuzzles my neck, and I can feel the dampness of her cheeks. She's crying.
You've got passion, you've got personality, you've got conviction, you've got so much awesome stuff in you that I couldn't name it all if you gave me a whole week. All of that is the real you.
Tara grabs me by the waist and gently leads us over to the bed. I press my forehead against hers and, for once, allow myself to be comforted. She strokes my hair. Time slows to a standstill. We kiss. I hold Tara close in my arms. She's nestled close to me. The sun is long gone, but the moon is bright enough to illuminate her smile. I'm smiling too. I carry them a lot also. And that was extremely good delivery on some very, like, sweet emotional lines. I close my eyes and let myself relax. I think I might actually sleep well tonight. But as always, luck isn't on my side. Oh, don't say that.
Hey.
Is something out there? No!
What?
Do you hear that?
Hard pass. Actually, I kinda need to pee. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I might have to get it out of the way before whatever god-awful thing is maybe about to happen. I strain my ears and see if I can sense anything out of the ordinary, but apart from the usual sounds of the forest, it's silent.
I can't hear anything. Maybe you dreamed it?
Unless this is a dream, it's definitely real. I can hear it right now, I swear.
I sit up in bed and look over at her. She's already most of the way up, head swaying as she looks for the source of whatever she's hearing.
Well, what does it sound like?
Kinda like,
She makes a strange whooshing noise and twirls her arms around. I don't see how arm movements are part of a sound, but I doubt I'd understand what she's talking about it, no matter how she put it. She looks back at me for confirmation, but all I can do is shrug. In response, she jumps out of bed and starts pulling her clothes on.
I'm gonna go see what it is. You coming?
Whether or not this sound is real, I'm not about to let her go off on her own. I promised I'd protect her, and that includes protecting her from mysterious noises. Yeah, I could have watched that, that expression, cycle for a long time.
Right behind you.
Besides, as powerful as Maddie is, there's still a chance Evelyn could be trying something. I follow her out of bed and pull on my shoes. She gives me a quick grin in response, excited to have me along for the ride again. Tara bolts out the door as I finish tying my laces. A second later, I hear her banging on the door to Maddie and Abigail's room.
Mads! Are you guys making that noise?
Pull on my sweater and walk into the hall in time to see Maddie slowly open the door of her room, covering herself with a blanket.
Oh, Tara. It's nearly 2 in the morning. Whenever this is, can it wait till morning?
Come on, not you too. I thought it was coming from your room.
Abigail's voice calls out from the room, along with the rustling of sheets.
What was coming from our room?
Are you kidding me?
She turns and storms away from the door, moving out into the kitchen. I nod apologetically at Maddie before following Tara.
Babe, come on. Let's just go back to bed. I'm sure that whatever it is can wait until morning.
It keeps getting louder, though. What if it's something dangerous? Maybe Evelyn has her own evil forest spirit and she's riding it towards the cabin or something.
I don't like that. Also, like, you're not girlfriends, but you keep calling her babe? Babe. There's a pang in my heart. It's cold and familiar. If the sound is that loud, but none of us can hear it, maybe it's only meant for her to hear. As I try to figure out how to get her back to bed, Maddie and Abigail join me in the hallway.
So, what's she doing this time?
She woke up hearing some kind of whooshing noise that I couldn't hear. I thought she'd just imagined it, but she can still hear it.
Maddie rubs her chin, puzzled. Abigail looks out at Tara with a worried expression. I can't shake the unsettling feeling in my chest either.
This isn't the first time something like this has happened, so I'd be inclined to dismiss it. But with everything else that's happened this month...
Before she can finish her sentence, Tara turns toward the door.
There! It's right outside!
Oh no. Abigail realizes it first. She steps towards Tara, reaching out her hand.
Tara, don't! What if it's...
You're gonna open... Oh my god. Oh no. No, no, no. I'm an idiot. Why didn't I figure it out sooner?
Tara, stay away from the door!
She doesn't look back. She takes another step towards the door. I will myself to start moving again.
Now you guys are actually going to be able to see what I'm talking about.
Oh no, I don't want to see it.
You're gonna feel so dumb for doubting me.
Oh no. I'm running towards her, but it's too late. She grabs the handle and throws the door open.
Wait, what?
There's nothing outside. Maybe that sight will be enough to bring her back to her senses. There aren't jump scares in this, right? I mean, Faceless Tara was spooky,
The
but...
sound's gone. It was right there.
She turns back to look at me. I'm only a couple steps away, and I can see the expression on her face. She's terrified.
Babe, what?
A flash of light fills the room. I'm stopped dead in my tracks as I raise my arm to cover my eyes.
Tara!
The light dissipates, and my eyes slowly readjust. In the haze, my fears are confirmed. She's gone. Tara's gone. I'm frozen. I can't process what's happening. I'm not sure how long the tears start rolling down my face before I notice them. Maddie and Abigail look at me in silence. And then I start screaming. I've never made a sound like this. It's an angry roar that fills the cabin.
No! Morgan, It was supposed to be me!
It's happening again, just like everyone before her. I love her, and now, because of me, I collapse to the ground.
Not her. Please.
Hot tears fall from my cheeks to the floor below. I feel a pair of arms wrap around me and a voice in my ear.
Morgan, it's okay. It'll be okay.
I slowly turn towards her. She and Maddie both stand close to me. I can see how worried they are, for Tara and for me. Maddie puts her hand on my shoulder. I flinch, but I don't pull away.
She's still alive. I can feel it. Whatever just happened didn't kill her, but it did move her. I can't figure out where yet, but I can sense her. Somehow.
You're sure?
I'm sure. We can find her.
I think I know where she might be.
Where?
If it was Evelyn who took her, she most likely brought her to the church. That's where she performed the ritual to...
She trails off, but I know what she was about to say. A transfer ritual. She wants Tara's body.
But why her? That's what she was raising me for. Why would she take her?
I'm not sure, but I've got a feeling there's only one way to find out. I'd hoped we'd have enough time to come up with an actual plan before we had to face her. But we can't just let her have Tara.
I'm already heading for the door. Maddie and Abigail follow close behind.
We can figure something out on the way. Let's go.
We'll think of something. We have to. This time is going to be different. I'm not going to let Evelyn win again. I'm getting Tara back, no matter the cost. And this time, I'm going to make sure Evelyn never hurts anyone again. For better or for worse. This is the end. Yada. Oh no. This is the last chapter, right? Not sure what I should do. It's only been about 2 hours. I can go for a little longer. I'm assuming the last chapter might be on the longer side. Okay. Well, I can't just leave it there, so we'll have to keep going. I don't even have time to be disoriented before I hit the stone ground hard. I struggle to pick myself up and stand, but before I can, footsteps approach. Evelyn's, of course, and I'm hauled to my feet. She does it with one hand. She's way stronger than she looks.
Hello, Tara.
As expected, we're in the church. She drags me over and throws me onto the altar. I try to resist, but my limbs won't move. I'll put this back on.
Oh, hey! Thanks for the ride.
Tara. I'm scared. More scared than I've ever been in my whole life. But I don't want her to have the satisfaction of knowing it. She walks away out of sight, although I can still hear her close by.
They're gonna come for me, you know. We figured out your whole plan. They're probably already on their way.
Let them. I'll kill them too.
Her tone is casually disinterested. She can't even give me the courtesy of pretending she cares? I wish I could move my head to see her, but I can't. Can't move any part of me other than my mouth.
It's always such a nice feeling to return here. Such a sense of renewal and energy. Although, I imagine right now, you don't feel the same way.
I don't know. I'm digging the ambience.
I'm about to die and I'm making jokes. I mean, what else am I supposed to do? We had a plan, one with a good chance of working. I know that Mads and the rest won't abandon me. We'll just switch it up a little, same as if she'd taken Morgan like we'd expected. But they didn't. Honestly, it's probably better for everyone that Morgan's the one who's still free right now. She's less likely to screw something up than I am. Still, it's all I can do to suppress the little voice inside me telling me to be afraid, to acknowledge that I'm going to die, or worse.
Really? You should be thanking me.
Lady!
For what? I must have missed it.
Because by dying here, you've given poor Morgan another chance. If she runs away now, I have no more need of her. I'll let her live. Of course, if she turns up here with any delusions of grandeur, she'll die along with the rest of them.
A chill runs up my spine. I know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there's no way she won't come for me. That she won't run away. Still, the way that Evelyn could talk so cruelly about her daughter makes it hard for even me to keep up my attitude.
You really don't feel anything, do you? You raised her, you lived with her, and even after all that...
Finally! You get something right. I don't feel anything got something wrong, too.
Evelyn halts, ugh, and then stalks closer to the altar. Close enough that I can see her wildly dilated pupils, the razor-sharp points on her fangs.
I didn't raise her. I cultivated her. From the minute she was born, I prepped her for this fate, to be a worthy vessel. How could I have known that a much more useful one would arrive at my doorstep? Just days away from my ascension.
Now she takes a step back, letting the moonlight fall across her. She arches her back like a cat, enjoying it. Oh, we really are close to the end. She raises an arm, and I'm lifted into the air like a circus performer, suspended from nothing. Oh no! My arms are snapped to my sides. I struggle as hard as I can, but I still can't move around. At all. I can't even flail around. Still, her words pique my curiosity, and I'm dying to know what she meant. Since I might be dying anyway, I may as well ask.
More useful how?
She grins.
Because this night is very, very special.
I thought we still had like 3 nights.
For years, centuries even, I've whiled away my time here in Eisenfeld. It's amused me to no end. But I've grown bored of it. I desire to see more of the world. And while any human body would do, I suppose, there's merit in one such as yourself. One with influence and fame.
Oh, I don't like that. I don't even know the words to convey how disgusted I feel. It's not enough for her to steal my body, but she also wants to pretend to be me? I think the horror I feel must show on my face because she smirks. As she does so, her skin starts to shimmer and shake, like there's light just underneath it. A thin thread of ethereal matter, like the spell that she used to bring me here, leaks into existence. It stretches between her hand and my chest. The second it comes into contact with me, I feel like all the strength is sapped out of me, like I'm being sedated. I hope I'm only passing out and not dying. I'm not sure if the two feel different. Hope I didn't set us on a path for a terrible ending. It would suck extra hard if I was dying, though, because then my last sight would be Evelyn, sneering cruelly. Snealing. Just before it all goes black, she manages to get in one final taunt.
What an ironic fate for you, don't you think? You came out here seeking magic, and now you found it.
We're up and ready to go nearly the instant that Tara disappears. It's a shock, of course, but not one that messes up all of our plans. So we did have. I walk to the front door, which is still open and banging in the wind.
I'm going to fucking kill her if she hurts Tara.
Tara will be fine. She's tough. Besides, we've got a plan, right?
After a long moment, I nod.
Right.
Maddie turns back to face Abigail, who's half hidden by the bedroom door.
Are you sure you want to go, sweetheart? You can stay here.
Of course not. There's no way you're doing this alone. I'm just a little nervous, that's all.
Me too. I'm a lot nervous, actually. We'll be fine, though.
If she keeps saying that, it'll be true, right? I wish I could believe it. I wonder if Maddie even does. Can you believe I was this close to the end and I stopped playing for so long? I mean, it's a weird summer and I moved and stuff, but Maybe I'll try and... Well, if I get a bad ending, I'll have to try and get the other endings. If I get a good ending, I might be satisfied with that. I scoop up Geladora and wait outside. We need to leave now, but I force myself not to rush them along. A minute later, they follow me outside. They run together, passing familiar scenery. We hurry out into the woods. Despite some wind and fog, the night is relatively clear.
Are you sure you don't want me to just take you to the church? I could have us there in a second.
I know, but she can't know about your powers yet. If we arrive too fast, then Evelyn will know something's up.
I mean, I feel like the dress... Oh, maybe she wouldn't know from that. Feels like a bit of a giveaway. It would be nice to take the easy way like that, but we can't do anything rashly. Not if it might hurt Terra in the long run.
Right.
We have to wait until her soul is out of its body. That's when we'll send the signal.
Do you know how
Oh,
long
we got a
it'll
plan
last?
plan.
Like, how long it'll be exposed?
I have no idea. I hope it won't be instant.
You hope?
I nod. I wish that I knew more, I really do. But it's magic, and magic is rarely predictable. That's the only thing that I can say with confidence about it. I'm not sure what more I should say. This is where we'll have to part. Even though I'm making the rest of my journey on foot, Maddie and Abigail will need to use magic to get to the fairy clearing. Before we do, though, there's one last thing I need to say.
Maddie? I know there isn't really time, but I need to say this, since I might not get another chance to.
Geladora nuzzles my chin, reassuring me.
I'm sorry. That doesn't even come close to describing it, but it's all that I can say. For bringing you out here, getting you involved in all of this. I never imagined any of it would turn out this way. So if you still hate me, I understand. I just wanted you to know.
It feels good to have the words out there. I've spent so much time apologizing these past few weeks, but it's still a bit of a relief every time.
Morgan. Well, first of all, I accept your apology. But I promise, I never hated you. It was my fault for acting like such a bitch when we first got here. And as for everything else, well, some of it might have been Tara's fault, but a lot of it was my fault too. So, let's get this over with. We'll save Tara, take care of Evelyn, and then we'll all go home. Simple, right?
I just nod again. I'm not sure I can talk right now. Not without crying. And I hate crying. I wish it were that simple. I hope it will be that simple. But it rarely is. What should I do? We're so close. I swallow the lump in my throat. I have to say something. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yaba. Yaba. One way or another, it ends tonight. I'm taking Tara with me. Really like how they do these choice screens. I'll keep Tara safe, no matter what it takes. I'll keep Tara safe no matter what it takes. Sounds like you're willing to throw someone else under the bus. I mean, this... okay. Leaving eyes and mouth empty. I guess, I mean, this, we'll go with this one. Well, I would be willing to play through again.
One way or another, this ends tonight.
I don't care what it takes. Evelyn will be stopped. Tara and I will leave for the life we talked about. That I've dreamed about for so long. I'm going to protect my legacy. I'm not going to let her hurt anyone else. Maddie and Abigail smile weakly. I wonder how I must appear to them. At first, Maddie thought I was crazy. Even if she accepted my apology, I wonder if her opinion has changed. It doesn't matter what she thinks, though. All that matters is getting out of here alive. Uh-oh. Why do I feel like I made another, like, yandere choice?
I'll see you too soon.
I don't waste any more time talking. I set out for the church. Okay, I think we like might need to see how this shakes out at this point. This is hardly a plan. It's barely more than an idea. It relies far too much on luck and everything going our way. But it's all we have. The furious winds tell me that I'm in the right place, as if there were any doubt. When I approach the doors to the church, they blast open. I've been expected. I don't waste any time. I rush in. Tara floats in midair, suspended by invisible magic. She lies prone, but with her arms and legs apparently locked in place. She looks dead. A colorful cloud floats above her, with a long tail spiraling back towards her body. I don't even need to be told. I know that it's her soul. It thrashes about, as much as a cloud can, but is seemingly locked out. Below, Evelyn stands, hunched, with her back to me. A trail of malevolent white magic tethers her to Tara. Evelyn's appearance has changed drastically, becoming more monstrous. Her body begins to take on icy qualities, while her face becomes disfigured. Her hair is in icy white. Her face doesn't look disfigured right now, and I don't want to see it, but I guess we'll find out. Moonlight pours through the window behind them, piercing Tara and illuminating Evelyn. When she hears me enter, she stands up straight, her back cracking obscenely. She's disgusting.
Morgan.
Oh, there it is.
You came.
Don't like that. Her voice isn't the voice I know. It's raspy and inhuman. It echoes around the church, louder than it should be, dragging itself from corner to corner.
I knew you would. You always do.
Oh. Her body spasms and twitches as if electrified. Still, her voice remains steady and flat. I did not consider the fact that I'm gonna need to sleep directly after this.
Of course I came. You're not taking Tara. You're not taking anyone else ever again.
She laughs, but it sounds like a choke. There's no humor in it. It's inhuman.
Do you know how many times I've heard that before? Countless. And yet, here we are. Predictable. You humans always are. Curiously so. You have all this freedom, but you don't know how to use it. Pity, 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 pity. Soon I'll have taken the body of your friend, and you will be dead, and I will be far, far gone. You see, I've grown tired of playing pretend out here in the woods. I've decided it's time for something new. And Tara is going to give that to me.
You'll still be a pretender.
Evelyn seems to notice Shellador for the first time, and she licks her bloody lips.
You. So, you're here too. Fitting.
Evelyn's gaze narrows, then her eyes widen once again. She points imperiously at Gilladora and I, and the stone walls of the church rumble in response.
I can tell. You're still no queen. No more than that brat who stands beside you. You're still powerless. Tell me.
Who's the pretender now?
Oh, I didn't like that. A brick detaches itself from the ceiling, plummeting down straight towards us. I dart out of the way, barely managing to avoid it. Gilladora yawls as I squeeze her harder than intended.
You're just as pitiful as she is. What did you think you could do? How did you think you had any chance? Or is it just human nature to try? Even if you're doomed to fail.
The moon is at its peak, or close to it. If she waits much longer, she won't be able to complete the ritual, and she'll have done her job for us. Maybe she knows this, because she turns away from us once again. I have to stop her. I push my legs forward, but some invisible force pushes back. Like moving through quicksand, I can barely inch forward. Something's protecting her. Inch by inch, I have to keep moving. A pulsing ball of magic starts to form in front of Evelyn, and she focuses intently on it. The light from the moon falls directly on her. Her skin reacts to it, bubbling and boiling like hot wax. It must be agonizing, but she doesn't react. Maybe she's beyond pain. Gilladora leaps out of my arms, making her own way beside me. Her breathing is ragged and labored. Neither of us wastes energy on more words. I don't know what I'll do if I reach Evelyn. I just know that I can't sit still. Yeah, she is very creepy and cool. The coalescing ball of magical energy continues to grow and grow, taking on a sinister, dark hue, the color of a moonless night, the color of an empty void. It starts to spin, crackle, and shimmer. That's when I realize this isn't for the soul transfer. It's too strong, too unstable. Before Morgan can finish speaking, a tendril of malevolent energy suddenly shoots straight out towards her. It moves too fast for me to react. It pierces me like an arrow. Godless, fiery pain burns through my veins. My whole body stiffens, refusing to move. I can't even cry out. Each individual atom of my body feels like it's being tortured, like a burning needle is being driven through them. I want to scream. I want some sort of release, but I'm not even granted that mercy. Behind the pain, there's a rising, mounting horror. I'm going to die here after all, aren't I? My vision starts to go black. I welcome oblivion. At least then I won't have to hurt anymore. I try to move my eyes to fixate on Tara. If I'm going to die, I at least want my last sight to be of her, even like this. I can't even manage that. All I can see is Evelyn. She says something, her lips moving, but I'm deaf to it. All I can hear is a deep, resonating, ringing sound in my ears. Like some perverse bell toll. Then Evelyn's eyes go wide, wider than before. The air behind her shimmers and shakes, just like her magic spell. Empty space tears itself open, and she's sucked backwards like a rag doll. In an instant, the magic and the pain is gone, leaving behind no trace. I fall forward, my momentum having been locked in place with me. And just ahead, Tara crashes to the ground limply. I stagger to my feet, not trusting my body to support me, but it does. The complete absence of pain is a shock in its own right. I feel like I should be experiencing the after effects, but I'm not. All that lingers is the memory. Gilladora scurries over to me.
Morgan, are you alright?
I think so. I feel fine, actually. What happened to Evelyn?
She licks the back of her paw for a second, then stops.
I'm afraid that I panicked and I sent the signal to Madison. I tried to help you, but I couldn't.
My own power is still weak, not nearly enough to match Evelyn's.
There's no changing it now. None of this matters if Maddie isn't able to stop Evelyn. It's going to be unlikely to begin with. Looks like we're in a hard fight. Celadora must know as much too. She pads back and forth, her tail twitching in agitated fervor. I stroke her fur.
Still, thank you. Can you help me check on Tara?
Of course.
We rush over to where Tara lies prone on the cold floor. Her soul is nowhere to be seen, which I hope means it returned to her body. I cradle her as tenderly as I can, checking for a sign of a pulse or breath. I gently prop her against my chest, stroking her hair.
Please be okay. Please.
2 tears dripped down my face, landing on hers. I didn't even realize I was crying. Celadora lingers beside us, nuzzling her face against Tara's cheek.
She's alive. I can feel that much.
Is she okay, though?
I don't think she should experience any lasting effects from the magic. It's the fall to the ground that worries me more.
That's true. She fell from pretty high up onto a stone floor. I wiped away the tears that fell on her, steeling myself to prevent any more. I traced my finger across the curve of her jaw, down to her lips. They pressed together just a bit to kiss my finger.
Tara! Tara, can you hear me?
I'm afraid to let hope spring into my heart again. Her lips moved, just barely.
I can't hear you.
There's a soft, blessedly warm gust of air against my face as she sighs and forces her eyes open.
I said, I'm dumb as bricks, babe. It'll take more than head trauma to hurt me.
Thank goodness. I pull her up and into a hug, and she pats my back.
You're okay? You're sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I wipe my eyes as we part to face each other once again.
I was so scared.
I wasn't. I knew you'd save me.
I don't deserve someone like her.
Is there any way we can get to Mads? She might need our help.
We both turn to face Celadora.
I can take us there, but I don't know how much use I'll be once we arrive.
Tara moves to question, but I place a hand lightly on her arm. Celadora is barely holding on as is, and her guilt at her inability to do more is palpable. If something happens to the cat, I'm gonna be real mad. I know she's not really a cat, but it's all up to Maddie.
Let's go. There isn't much time.
I pull Tara to her feet, and she immediately winces, hissing in pain.
Are you okay?
I'm fine. Guess I just hurt my ankle in the fall.
She's able to stand on her own, giving me a shaky smile. I don't like it, but there's nothing I can do right now. At least it's only her foot, and not her head or back. With a graceful jump, Celadora hops into my arms once again. I stand next to Tara, who leans against me for support. With one hand, I support the cat. With my other, I take Tara's other hand in my own. Then I nod.
We're ready.
Okay, I think I might actually stop here for tonight. I know we're probably quite close, but I wasn't expecting this to be the last, wasn't expecting chapter 5 to go so fast. So I guess next week will probably be the last one. And if it doesn't take long, then we can go back and try and get some of the other endings, if that works for folks. I feel really bad for leaving the game hanging for so long, but life kind of happened very much. So I'm just happy to be picking it up again now, and it just means that I get to play the end just in time for Halloween. So Let's see. Oh, that's right. Dawn is live. We're gonna raid Dawn. And then I'm immediately gonna go to bed. Life does indeed happen when it happens. Everything happens so much. Alright. My friend Dawn Bunny Cartoon is playing Until Dawn. So we're gonna go see her. And I will be back tomorrow, probably around 1 p.m. EST, so that we can do seasonal anime chat. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. I had a good time. And I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends, because it's been really good. Thank you! それでは、おつめめん。